you gotta.
Is it going now? All right. Yes, here we go. Probably not. Call a meeting of the Transit Committee to order. Roll call, I believe we're missing Randy Proctor and John Menz. Is that correct? I don't see John on there. Approval of the minutes from March 14th.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's been made. Is there a second? Second. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. No public comment, right? Austin?
Correct.
Okay. Nothing at the request of the chair, staff reports.
Transit report for 10/20/24. This is the first meeting that Dan's been in the rant, so I'll get a little bit deeper to a few things, but he was at my annual report here a couple months ago, so I won't touch on too much different than normal. Ridership, financials, publicity on the route, staffing. Any questions? Doorstop and Red Cedar ridership decreased by two from February to March, down 1%, down a tenth of a rider per day. They always said in school to, if it's a physical human being, that never to put tenths in there. But I wanted to show that it did go down by percent, even though it averaged at 21 full riders per day. Other than that, a little bit lower to the bottom third, but community ridership in the next slide after this showed very strongly. Stout route ridership decreased from February to March, down 30%, but looking at the amount of service days, it was only down 6%. And up until the last week of March, we had very good weather as well. So came in like a lamb, and the weather came out like a lion. But we did not have to delay the route or cancel anything on any of the routes on that last one. So thank you to the city and highway department for keeping things cleaned off. Community route ridership looks good, right to the top third, based on March compared to the previous years, and looking back at January, February, it was closer to the bottom third to halfway. So that looks good. And then looking at the community Saturday for March, it was the second best month ever of March on Saturdays versus last year. Okay. If we look at service days, it's actually up 7% versus February. 2024 financials. So through 3 months of the year, obviously during the stout school year, our expenses are the highest with the most buses being on the road. So the goal is always to get that net zero, if not a little bit of money back into the account to get through the end of April, the second week of May, and then the 3 months of summer, you can bank a little more of that as contingency. But through January through March, we're 1,500 to the good. Publicity, I'm not gonna touch on this too much. I tried to get Darren, like, involved in this. I gave him about 30 minutes notice. So, but they must have had a slow day at WPOW, and they asked to come over and shoot us a quick interview based on the report that Doug Mel put together that got sent to all the counties. See if this loads for us. And if it doesn't, I could put a printout in the last page of everybody's. Okay. That might not work for us, but it just goes through the good ridership that we had through. All right, we got Richard back. Sorry about that. You did not miss anything.
Don't let it happen again.
Oh. Okay, we're good. We're good. So.
It is.
So,
We'll do things different.
okay, on the route. So the left screenshot is from 7:07 this morning. So you're not going to see the bus on the route till 10 minutes after that. But this is the current, what every student sees on, and every person that has this app downloaded to track the bus. And this is through Ride Systems. Since this has been pushed to the county and everything, Transloc, the company, bought out Ride Systems a few years ago. Well, they never told us that they copied Ride Systems and put it into Transloc, a better, newer app. And when we were getting this demo from this other company on their stuff, I'm like, I'm going to go on the App Store and see what their reviews are, and then see what Transloc's reviews are. Well, they had this all built out for us already. They just never told us about it. But it shows the same, it needs a few tweaks, but it actually has a nicer interface, in my opinion. It says how long it's going to be till the bus arrives. This was at 4:21, and it should say that the bus is right here. It should say the next closest stop is the clock tower. But it's got some nice real-time displays on, instead of just showing the departure times like that. So, but before I wanted to push this to the public, we wanted to make sure this is perfect, dive in a little more and make sure that we're keeping software, not going with this other company completely different.
So do we have to, like a service fee every month or?
We're already paying for this through our GPS subscriptions on an annual subscription. But this is just part of it that we didn't know existed. So because we talked about upgrading in the last meeting, the systems to include GPSs and or to include Wi-Fi on buses. But if we were going to make this big step, we wanted to check it out, another company or two. And in that, and looking at the App Store reviews, I came across what we're already paying for too. But we're going to a separate system. We don't want to download this one, for 6 months when 8,000 students and community members have it downloaded. So, but some good positive upside with this that's already set up. I just wanted to test a few more things on it, and before we decided we're going to stay with this system or go to the Passio Go. Staffing. Our 14-day opening for dispatcher position closed last night. We're going to host interviews next week. There's 9 candidates that applied for it and were referred by HR, and then our onboarding goal is by 5/1, about 3 weeks away. So that's exciting. My previous position openings, we maybe had 3 a couple years ago. So appreciate the work that HR department has done and the exposure, and then the great job with the social media and getting these things out there and good visibility. So, and there's the dispatcher didn't get fired or is quitting for any bad reason. It's kind of Beyonce that we've been together for 7 years. That signed on. We did one back in 2020, and you can't work here. So,
Got that goofed up.
yeah. So there's no bad blood or anything from losing a position, a person. So that's what it is.
Just lucky for you.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, so I wish we could have Bruce there 5 days a week, but we can't. So, some good candidates down the pipeline for that. So I'll have some more information on that in May meeting. Any questions?
What is the status of the solar panels? Is that still going on, or is that being postponed until a bus is coming, or?
So I made some ground on that since last meeting. I was waiting for that NEPA review to be done. And I followed up. I don't know how long those take, so I submitted that in August. It was down in October, but they never sent it back. Followed up on it, got it. That WISDOT representative retired. So I followed up after that and got it right away. So I could have followed up quicker, but I followed up in March and I got it. Now I have all the paperwork to start the RFP for that. So we're making ground now. I thought the ball was in my court for a few more months. Otherwise, I would have started on it quicker. But so I made some progress on that. So,
Any other questions? Do you have anything else to present to us? Anybody have any other questions? Okay, on the number 7, there is none. On the number 8, there is none. Next meeting date will be May